Hey, folks, one of the Redneck Country Podcast. You are on with Real Redneck Todd Millard. And, of course, we've got the almost guy, Real Redneck Bill Tom. Bill, are you there?
I'm here, and it's a beautiful night for a podcast.
It is a beautiful night for a podcast. And, of course, sitting beside me, the patriarch of Redneck Country, my father, Real Redneck Don Millard. Dad, is your mic hot?
Yes, it is. Another walk over on a beautiful evening.
It is a gorgeous day. I tell you that for sure.
Terrific day it's been.
You know what made today even better? The Millard family over there.
I don't know. I'm kind of nervous to ask.
I was not working today. That's what made today an even better day.
You had the whole day off.
Yeah, I decided. Well, I mean, I took about 6 or 8 phone calls from work, and
was it because you listened to last week's podcast and you heard about the retirement, so you thought you'd give this a try, like Freedom 40?
Yeah, I was trying that. I had Monday. I worked from home on Monday. I had a doctor's appointment that I went to mid-morning, and I said, "You know what? I'm going to work from home."
Doctor's appointment and handed it home.
Yeah. Oh, I got lots more stories about that. But so today we did some dreaming and retirement stuff. It was our wedding anniversary on Monday that just passed, and we decided Candace had to work. She works Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I said, you know what? She actually wanted to take today off and just kind of hang out, and that's what we did. So it was a good day.
How many years, Bill?
Yeah, we're 18 years now.
Congratulations.
We were able to figure things out for 18 years, and
that's good.
It's been good. Yeah, lots of changes over that time. 3 different houses and 3 kids, and one going off to college in the fall. But I tell you what, it's fun. You know what? I chose the right person, or she chose me, whatever it works out. And if she listens to this,
she put up with you.
Right?
I think that's.
Oh, yeah. That's it. I found somebody to be able to put up with me for 18 years. And
Candace, congratulations on settling 18 years ago.
Yeah. But yeah, we did some dreaming today. I tell you, I sent you a picture of what we were.
Oh yeah,
what we were doing.
You did. So was that like an anniversary gift?
Yeah, right. She loves me, but not that much. So we went. I went today. For the longest time, I've been talking about a motorcycle, and I've talked about finishing the VW. I'm all over the place with this stuff. But the one thing we can agree upon is we like to. We're thinking about next year and a half or 2 years, whatever, it doesn't matter. One of those Polaris slingshots. And if you've ever seen them, the big appeal to those things for me is they look like the Batmobile. And I just absolutely love them. So there's no time soon. We're dreaming. It doesn't cost you anything to go into a store and look around and dream. So that's part of what we did on our day off today.
What are they? Are they 2-seaters?
They are 2-seaters, which was the appeal. Right. If I got a motorcycle, it's just me. She doesn't like the idea of riding a motorcycle by herself.
It's too many nuts on the road. Like I had a crotch rocket. I had a 1,000cc crotch rocket, and we were talking about this on our way to the gun club, weren't we, Dad?
Yeah.
That I said I was following some dude on this old pipe bomb, and he's doing like 70, and I'm like, why have a motorcycle if you're just gonna drive doing 70? In front, like dial that thing up 200, 210, 220.
Yeah,
it ain't fun. And that's what I said. Mom and Dad actually made me sell my motorcycle when they pretty much made me quit bull riding and made me sell my RX-8. And so all of those things that could potentially kill me because I have responsibilities. I have children.
Bill and I were both with him, and we both agreed the guy was just enjoying the ride.
Oh, he's boring.
And we both agreed when we had bikes that we just enjoyed the cruise, a nice summer day, windy road, trees on both sides. You don't need to dial it up, but it's getting too dangerous.
You can't dial it up on those things, but on a rocket you can. But I did say that. I said, and Bill said the same. Of all the close calls that he remembers on his bike, he had a big old Goldwing, and then I remember all the ones I had on mine, and so. It's even worse today. Like I sold mine, I don't know 5 years ago. So it's even worse, I think, today with all of the texting and driving and distracted and more cars on the road. And so for me, I look and I see them all popping up and I'm like, oh, look at that bike. But I know that it's only a matter of time. It's like bull riding. It's not if you get hurt, it's how bad.
That's right. And this dealership that I went into today is an Indian motorcycle dealer. And they are beautiful.
That's what that bike
bikes.
was in front of me, was an Indian. And the dude,
gorgeous.
It was a white Indian motorcycle. I said he was driving straight armed, like sitting straight up. And when he turned, he didn't lean. He like turned like a car. And I'm like, this guy's a newer driver. He's doing 70s, turning like a car. I'm like, he's driving like a cop. Like he's sitting straight upwards. And I said, that bike, the sun was glaring on my windshield. And I said, that bike's not even white. What's he think he's a cop? And he turned the corner and it was a white Indian, and I'm like, oh, never mind. Maybe it was a cop.
No, I had a nice custom pullback bars, teardrop gas tank. I put an oversized tire in the back end. Oh, it rode smooth. I loved cruising. On my way to work one morning, and a guy turned in front of me. No, I was on my way home from work one afternoon. Guy turned in front of me, hit me head on.
Oh, no.
Yeah, while I was in the hospital having surgery, my wife took a settlement for the insurance settlement and said, no, you're done riding bikes. It's too dangerous out there. I had the cops come see me 3 times, and they said, this guy's claiming you didn't have a headlight on. I said, it came on when you turn on the bike. You can't turn it off. Well, it's all smashed now, so he says it wasn't on. And I said to him, nope, you go to that wrecking yard where it's sitting, because I've been there to look at it and say goodbye to my bike. And you get the key from them in there and turn it on. The lens is smashed, but the bulb comes on with the ignition. You go and do that. So they did it. The light was on.
But I was at that scene, and I was arguing because the guy was saying at the scene, because I was on my way home from school. Me and my sister was driving me home from high school, and we came up on it. I'm going, oh my gosh. And I was out of that car before it was stopped and ran up, and sure enough, it was Dad. And everybody's on scene. Ambulance is on scene. The cops wouldn't let me go near it. But the guy that hit Dad was saying, the light's not on. And I yelled, the light's on right now. Look at it. And the bike was laying on its side, still on. And the light was on. So I don't even know why that became such a big fiasco, but
you're all right. Obviously, there was no lasting effects other than
there was
no bike anymore.
I got a scar. That's it.
I think that's not it.
I went over the windshield. I went over the handlebars, and I never let go of the handlebars. And
you went through the windshield.
Well, there was no windshield on the bike, but I went over the handlebars.
Yeah, you had a full windshield on that thing.
No, I didn't. I hit the windshield of the car.
No, you went through yours. You cracked it in half. You had a windshield on.
I don't remember having a windshield. Either way,
like I said,
my arm rode up the mirror and took the mirror off, and the broken bolt on the end of the stem of the mirror went right through my right arm halfway, and like halfway the width of my arm, ripped muscle bodies, ripped
all the tendons, everything was hanging out.
Ripped tendons,
it wasn't pretty.
And blood was just pouring out of it, and I had to have surgery on that arm. But I ended up going right into the windshield of the car that hit me, and my body was outlined in his windshield. Then I went over the roof and landed down on the pavement.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories about guys. A friend of mine wanted to sell me to buy his bike a couple of years back. Good price, whatever. But I said, well, what do you want to sell it for? He says, well, 3 times this year already. And it was early in the year. He says, I've just been run off the road. He says, the last time for me, I had to put my boot in the driver's side door because the lady was talking on her cell phone, wasn't paying attention, and came over into my lane. And if it wasn't for me booting on her door, she would have come right over and I would have been right into the guardrail.
Man.
And I said, yeah, well, maybe I'll look at a different venue for that. And I've talked about motorcycles off and on for years, but every time I do, one of these stories comes up and it kind of puts me into a,
I had a blast
do I really need to do it or not?
Absolutely had a blast, but yeah, it's just dangerous. Way too many close calls.
Yeah.
Why do it?
Yeah.
So I
like the cruise, right? Yeah. I like the fact that I can have an open top and this slingshot for the price of them. They're a beautiful 2-up machine that you don't need your M license for, but you do need to ride with a helmet, which is kind of weird.
You're used to that anyway.
Yeah, I still miss my bike. That's nice cruising on a nice summer day, but I miss it. But I ain't going back to it. Too many people out there.
You got a nice machine now anyways. You cruise and have fun with.
Yeah, I got the hot rod now, so a couple of weeks I'll have it out.
Good deal. Yeah, so that was my day today, kind of dreaming about the future and what happens if I won the millions, and now at home drinking tea, talking to you guys. So tell me, what did you guys get up to this week? Anything exciting?
You want to go first, Dad?
Yeah, sure. I had a good week. I was, excuse me, I was doing my walks and puttering around out in the shed. I'm trying to get things ready to go. I got to sort out my shed, and too early, the wife won't let me get the furniture out on the porch and on the back deck yet because she said we could still get some rain and snow. And so I said, okay, so the second week in April, I'll do all that. But Todd got 2 tree stands for Christmas, and they've been stored in my shed since Christmas. And he got a 20-footer and an 18-footer. So today I dragged out the 20-footer, cut open the box, and I built a 20-footer.
Woo, woo.
And is it ever nice? I got her in the tree in my backyard, all strapped in so it's good and solid so we can try it out. And the seat is so comfortable.
Do I need to check the bolts and stuff?
No, everything. I went over it all. It's all tightened down. And the seat's like a cloth hammock. It's not cloth. It's like that weaved stuff. And it's comfortable. Oh, is it ever comfortable? And the bar, the shooting bar is adjustable. You can move it out away from your body or back in towards your body, and it's got
Can you really? I didn't know that.
Adjustable stops on the arm rails. You can move them up or down so the bar can go lower or bring it up higher when it comes to a stop. And you can, if you want to flip it right up over your head against the tree and you want to stand up, you can lift the seat right up so it's out of the way while you're standing on the platform.
Can you really?
Yes, you can.
Oh, I like it.
And the platform has a footrest. So when you're sitting there, you can put your feet on the platform or put them out on that footrest. And you want to stand up, take the shot, flip up the bar, flip up the seat. And you're
Did you install the cell phone holder, my cup holder?
It's got a cup holder on it. Came with a really nice bag cup holder.
I'm living the life. I like it.
You're getting a little bit spoiled there. It's soft.
And it came with 2 equipment
Next thing
hooks.
you know, I'll be drinking tea.
There's 3 holes down each side rail. You can put the cup holder wherever you want it, and you got two equipment hooks to fit in any one of those 6 holes. So you can put your equipment hooks anywhere you want them.
Really?
And
so I don't even have to go in the
pre-assembled.
tree. I like that. Well, I figured that was part of the present, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I texted him. I said, when you get a minute,
He's
come on over and
retired.
try this stand out. It's really a nice
He has
stand.
lots of time. He's retired.
So my plan tomorrow is to build the 18-footer and see if it's as nice.
Well, is he able to sit long enough to enjoy the features of a stand like that?
Oh, jeez.
One thing, well, you know, Todd, but one thing, he doesn't want to come home. If he's fishing, if he's in a tree, hunting deer, whatever, he never wants to come home. He's in no hurry to come home. Wherever we go, he's in no hurry. Even shooting last night, he was in no hurry to get home. He was having too much fun.
I was in a hurry. I couldn't stand following this dude on this old motorcycle.
No, not driving home, leaving the gun club. He's just relaxed. He's visiting. He's just, he's, well, I'm going to shoot again. Oh, all right, then we'll shoot again with you.
I saw the video of that online, and actually, I saw him break one target, but the other 2 I didn't see.
Oh, no,
so
they
I'm
were
not
all
sure.
broke, Bill. They were all, know why you didn't see them break? A, they barely came out of the house, so it was tough to see them to start with. And B, once you heard the shot, that was it.
It was done.
There was nothing left in the air.
But the dust flying back towards where it came from.
That's right. That's right.
Well, It's good that you guys are able to get out. How's the shooting going?
We were out last night, and I focused on handicap because I got to get my handicap. If I'm going to get back in the interclubs, I got to get my handicap game back in. I haven't really shot a good score till I got that yard at a shoot last year. I earned a yard. I'm back at the 22-yard line. It shouldn't have made that much difference, but I haven't shot a good score since then, and then I fell, and so now I'm struggling. But I went out there just to focus on the handicap and just give my arm a good workout. So in between, Bill wanted to shoot a round of singles. I said, well, okay, I'll shoot one with you. So I hit a 24, but I already shot a couple rounds of handicap. And Bill said, you're going to let your arm rest? No, I'm just going to keep plugging away. I've got to get the stamina in this arm, get it to do what it needs to do, and get back at shooting. So that's what I'm working on. But it's coming back. It's like I'm confident by summer I'll be back in competition.
Good deal. What did you break last night, Todd?
We'll talk about the 25.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You rolled one, did you?
I did. And it's tough because you're shooting with these guys that want to make it social time, retirement time. You can't.
Oh, give me a
how do you focus? And I'm trying to critique them and coach them. So I'm coming out of my spot to stand behind them and make sure that they're doing everything they need to do. You know, it's tough. It's tough life. But I did.
Yeah, I can imagine that your dad needs a whole bunch of coaching. Yeah.
Well, we talked about the Inner Club. We haven't talked about the Inner Club last Sunday.
No, we haven't.
We shot the Inner Club down Rochelle last Sunday.
Oh, yeah. You said you were going to do that on the last podcast.
Yeah. So the squad, remember I said a spot opened up. So Dad said he was going to, there's a spot on my whole squad bailed on me. They didn't even show up. So it was just me and Dad.
I go in there and Bill Malcolm says, hey, you're shooting with Todd. It's just you two. I said, good. That's good. So we go out and shoot the 16s, and I shot a 25, and Todd shot a 23.
Yes. So wasn't happy.
You dropped 2.
And Bill says,
and soft laughs, I just didn't get to him. I shot him like a straightaway.
And Bill comes back and he says, did you kick his butt? Look, by the look of his head, his head's hanging down. You kicked his butt. I kicked his butt, Bill. Good. Glad to hear it. Bill was quite excited, so Bill got right on his case. But Todd came back and I
rallied back. Yeah, take this, Bill.
He came back in the handicap. And what'd you shoot? A 23 in the
24
handicap.
in the handicap.
24.
Tied for high gun.
Yeah, tied for high gun. 47. And my score hit the Lewis. So he won high gun. I won the Lewis. We each won $32.
Nice. You come back with some money, and the fact that your dad beat you, Todd, that's all the better.
Just in the singles.
But whoa. The total target count's what matters, Bill.
Just in the singles. I'm struggling in the handicap. I went out last night just to shoot handicap. I got to bring my handicap score back.
I was happy.
I haven't missed a target all season. I have not missed one all year.
What's that?
You got to shoot at him to hit him.
All year.
You got to shoot at him to miss him.
Well, I mean, those are the small details there, Todd. Small details.
Bill's 100%.
Yeah.
I keep a spreadsheet on all these Inner Clubs and put our names in, and I put the scores in, and then how many targets you hit in the singles, how many in the handicap, what's your total, and then the total on the 400 for the trophies. I do a spreadsheet. How much money it costs you to play, how much did you win? And so far, I'm money ahead. I've made money this year, but that's because I've only shot one shoot, and that was last Sunday.
Yeah. small details.
Good.
That's it. So, yeah, there you go. And Todd, tell me about a little bit about what you did this week. I'm interested before we get into.
Well, we did the shooting. The only other thing I think that I did this week, I got the scooters. I got the third one rocking and rolling now, and so we've been. The kids and I, hey, let me update you on something, Bill. This reminds me, Mr. Retirement sitting beside me here. So we hop on the scooters after kids get home from school. Let's fire up the scooters and we'll go for a ride. I'll make them put on orange, put on their bike helmets, and away we go. And so go blasting. We thought the kids go, well, let's stop by Grandma and Grandpa's. So we go ripping down the road and we swing into Grandma and Grandpa's place, and Mom's down with my aunt on the computer doing something. I don't know. So
I know where this is going.
Oh, yeah. We barge in. And now, what was the one thing that we talked about last week at the beginning where retired folk...
He doesn't nap.
You know what?
He does not nap.
We blast in the door, and Avery goes to Grandma. Where's Grandpa? Oh, he's in the room there with the door closed. Swings open. He's got a thing over his eyes. He's out cold having a nap. 3:30 in the after freaking noon.
Wow.
4 o'clock.
There was some very adamant, I do not nap.
That's
comments
correct.
on last podcast.
Correct. And I haven't had a nap in months.
And the one time you do, Todd catches you?
No, yeah, it just happened. Right. He had to walk in on that day. I had some late nights, and I had some early mornings.
Here we go.
I had some mornings I had to get up and be at the lab. I had a morning I had to get up for a doctor's appointment. Another morning I had to get up and take my wife someplace. And then late nights, we were getting home late and company coming. And then she wanted me to stay up and watch some shows. And I said to her, I am really tired today. I am beat. And I took 3 walks. And I said, I'm going to get my 3 walks in early because I don't know if I'm going to go walk after
This was
supper.
about what
I'm
I
tired.
did this week. Now, you've already had your turn.
She says, why don't you go and lay down for a few minutes because I'm going to be on the computer with Trudy. I said, okay. So I went and laid down for a few minutes. And wouldn't you know it, The idiot comes over right on that time.
Yeah. Cue the Frank Sinatra.
Yeah.
Regrets. I've had a few.
Yeah. Avery comes in.
What is happening to this
wakes me up. Todd, he does his thing. He's ready to go. And he says, wait a minute. I said, what? Wait a minute. What'd you think of? You were napping. Oh, here we go.
I forgot to get a picture. I should have just, because it's such normal.
You know, that's the worst part.
Because it's so normal process that it was just an average everyday thing. I didn't think to get a picture. It wasn't an anomaly until I realized he said it is an anomaly and I should have got a picture.
I was just beat. I'd had it working outside and up late, up early. And
I think you'll have more opportunities by the sounds of it, Todd, if you just happen to go over a few more times.
I tell you what. I'll put mom on it.
Went all day today, out walking, building that blind and doing stuff in the shed. And no nap.
So that was my week. Yep, we got to shoot twice already, and then we've been out on the scooters. Good times. Deal. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you've had some times down there, and with the weather going the way it is, Candace and I decided to go for a drive this upcoming Saturday. And this is kind of where I wanted to go this week if we're ready to get into there.
Ooh, to go for a drive?
Yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about this going for a drive thing, because it's about that time of year where turkey hunting season is coming right up around the corner, right?
Going now. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And I went with Michael. Remember young Michael we had on here? He got his first deer out of my stand this year.
Oh, yep. He's remembering more what he did this week.
Yeah. And Michael's deer, Snook called me, Dave Snook called me, and he says, hey, young Michael's deer head's ready. Oh, awesome. So I give Michael a call. I said, let me know when you're going down. So him and Scotty, they were going to go down. They messaged me. They said, hey, we're heading down at 3:00. All right, I'll meet you there. So I went down. Oh, Mike was just beaming. I got a couple of pictures of him holding it, and he was taking it home to put in his bedroom, hanging over his bed, and he's just beaming. He was really pleased. So,
that's great.
Yeah, so
I'd like to see some of the pictures of that. We send them across.
Yeah, but I sent them to Todd. Todd's got a couple. So
he keeps that stuff to himself, though. I'm not sure why he doesn't share.
Well, if I was in the picture, you'd have it.
Yeah, it would have been all over social media by now.
Yeah, but Dave, I'm so glad you came with these guys. It's been a while. I said, well, COVID and everything, you know what happens, Dave? He says, yeah. And you know what's coming up? I said, yep, turkey season. He says, you guys better get some and come on down here. I said, oh, we'll be down. Don't you worry. So
this is, and this is part of where I need some assistance. You know, the almost guy's got some problems and waiting for Todd to cue in on that one, but the almost guy's got a few issues here.
I was loaded, cocked, and ready, but I'm thinking where my mind was going was you need Dad to come down and go for a drive with you.
I think that's the way it needs to go, because here's my problem. So, like I've said to you guys before,
one of your problems, but go ahead.
Yeah, we won't list this is the short list, not the long list tonight. One of the problems is my hunting spots are primarily county bush. Now, with county bush, you don't need to ask permission, because all you need is Ontario Federation of Angler and Hunter membership and time. That's pretty much it. Respect the rules of the open season. You park your vehicle, you go in. If another hunter is there, you maybe have a conversation about where you're going versus where he's going or she's going. And that's it. I am needing to branch out a little bit more and go find some permissions or find some property that I can hunt on. And I wanted to touch on today a little bit about maybe a little bit of a role play as to the process that you go to, not for somebody that you know, but let's say that you've found a field or you've gone, because Saturday morning, Candace and I are going to get up. We're going to pour our coffees. We're going to grab our binoculars. We're going to go for a drive. Take a look at some fields, and maybe that field has got a bird in it. And then now I want to approach the farmer to ask for permission for his property.
So it's not about figuring out where to ask permission. It's about asking permission.
Yeah. You can run the roads, and this is where I'm at. I'm going to put some miles on the car this weekend, Saturday morning.
You know what you should do? Stop in at that dealership and take that little thing for a test drive.
Yeah. that might help, but it might put the wrong picture.
Honestly, you know what? You stop in and ask permission in that, it becomes a bigger conversation piece, and permission becomes a secondary thing. We might be onto something here.
You might be onto something real good there, but the steps I'm thinking about is, yes, you've already gone. You've done the scouting. I've found that, yes, this field right here has got birds in it, and now I want to go to the farmer and ask for permission. And I know that you've got the silver gem there. I won't call him the golden gem because doesn't have the golden hair. He's got the white hair. So the silver gem there.
That's what you could call him. I got a bunch of other names.
And so I'm going to turn it over to you guys.
On how we do it? On how we get permission? Can I set the scene before you interrupt me 5 times, Dad?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I won't promise.
No kidding. I have to mute his mic. So, because of who I am, I have a theory when we ask permission. Now, Dad has got his own way of asking permission, and so that we retain it and we build rapport, and then really you become friends with the landowner. But that we'll get into that, right? And then it's a matter of, I consider them friends now, even if they don't let me hunt anymore. They're still friends. They're nice people. They're all good folks. So that's the cool factor. But we'll get there after that. So for me and Scotty, even if it's just me and Scotty, or it's just even me driving around and we find a field, we'll find a field for geese or turkey, or think, oh man, I bet you that woods is right loaded with turkeys. For whatever reason, we've seen them before, or it just looks good, or for deer or whatever. So do I go up and ask? No. So I look like a young punk attitude, blah, blah, blah. I know who I am. I know I look like I'm 22. So that's also a downfall. Right?
Oh man. It's being laid on pretty thick tonight.
Maybe 24. So I dress the part so that because I'm a young dude. I'm hip. I'm cool. Well, I think that's a hindrance. So I got earrings in both ears. You know, I've got the flat bill hat and whatever else, and I drive a big freaking truck that you'd think some 24-year-old drives, and because it's not real conducive to normal everyday life of getting in and out, blah blah blah. And that's the thought process. And I know this because I've had family that owns farms, or that well still does, but owns, and I'd get chirped all the time. Why don't you put a muffler on that thing? I did put a muffler, Magnaflows. That's why you can hear me. And oh, you young kids, blah blah blah. And that is the thought process. So when you pull, I want to say, as much as I hate it and hate judgmental stuff and people and everything else, first impressions, man. The minute you pull in, it's like, what is coming in my laneway? And there's already a predetermined thought process that is etched in stone, right? It's hard to get past that. It's hard to get over that. If I pull in my lifted F-250 big front grill guard, and so when we find it, we don't go. We wait for Kenny Rogers / Santa Claus over here sitting beside me. And his demeanor's a lot softer. And now that he's even getting older, it's even getting more softer. Like how do you get mad at somebody that's older? Really? But so we'll find it. We'll get him, and then we'll go. Now I will typically walk up with him, but I will take out my earrings because I'm all about squashing stereotypes, right? Like I have so many different alter egos of who I am. And people will say, Todd he's got an identity crisis. No, I just don't like fitting the bill. One day I'll be one and the next day I'll be the other, and you'll never know what I'm thinking or what I want to be or who I feel I am. So I will take out my earrings, and I typically maybe take off my hat, or I will take off my hat as I'm walking up so that they see, because if it's an old school person, that is a sign of respect. My grandparents would say, you take your hat off. And so if you do that, that automatically sets a tone. Wow. Just something as small as that. This gentleman took his hat off. So maybe he's not a young punk kid. Right? So everything you can do to be cognizant of that. So that is how I roll, because I very much know the persona I portray when I pull into a laneway, and it's about to ask permission.
Yeah, but going back on that too, I guess are you I guess when you're going up to a place, are you 90% of the time, because you guys grew up in that area, right? 90% of the time, you don't know who those people are before you go up. It's
if
not
we're
like
going up to ask, we don't know who they are. If we know who, if we know them, then but
obviously
typically
it's going to be a different story. They already know who you are at
we've
that point in time.
Permission.
You don't need to, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right.
So that's who it is. And I'm talking here. I don't have family around this area here.
Yep.
So everybody that I go up to here now, I mean, there's older people that are farming now. There's second generations or younger people that are farming. Everybody's got their opinion of other people, and if you have that no hat earring type look on, maybe that stereotype is not what they're looking for, right?
Oh yeah, like anybody walking up their lane, they're already going, okay, who's coming up here?
Especially
like
now because it's COVID times, right?
Well,
and
that's even
I'm
worse.
very hesitant to go Saturday to do much other than to look around.
Can't hurt nothing though.
Well, no. If I will go up to their place with a mask on and my sunglasses, they look like I'm going to rob them.
I don't know about your beard, Dan.
Right? Yeah. Well, that's it, right? I'm looking like it. But I got my wife with me, so I've got maybe.
You know what I would do? I would send Candace, and I would be about 20 steps behind her, looking at the ground with puppy dog eyes, and very sheepishly walking up behind her.
So Don, I want to hear from your side. If you were cold turkey going in, start off the conversation as if I'm the guy that you want to the property that you want to hunt.
Yeah, you got to remember, I started when I was 15. It was a different time then, but you still had to get permission. So I did it for a lot of years when I was a young guy, and then I had kids, and then I had Karen, Todd, and I discovered that what I would do is I'd do my scouting whenever I could, but I would only go and look up the farmer on Saturday mornings, and I'd take Todd along with me when he was just a little guy.
Oh,
and
I think I need some royalties.
Yep. And I would walk up and I'd say, they could say, can I help you? Yeah, I'm looking for the landowner that owns this pond or this field over here. Is that you, or do you know who that might be? Yep, that's me. Oh, well, that's what I'm looking for. I said, I've noticed some ducks going in there, and I was really hoping to get permission to go in there on Saturday mornings, and because I worked anyway. So I said on some Saturday mornings and maybe take the young guy along with me and shoot a few ducks. Would that be okay? Yeah, sure. And I got the feeling that you're a family man, you got a job, you're not a vagrant, you're not a bum, and so you're going to be safe. And you're going to obey the laws, and then
be respectful.
Yeah. So that helped for a long time. That hasn't changed because now now
I'm so good looking.
Well,
that he takes me up.
And they'll tell me, oh, hey, look, we sell in this field. Go see if you can find out. Sometimes it's just hard trying to find the owner. You got to knock on a number of doors, and they'll say, oh, I don't know who owns that. Or, yeah, he lives east here somewhere, but so-and-so down the road might know who it is. So you might have to knock on 3 or 4 doors.
It can be some work. I'll tell you what.
Sure, yeah.
So what I do now is I say, look, I'm looking for the owner of this field right here. And I would give the emergency number of the field that's out front. And can you tell me who that might be? Well, yeah, that's me. Oh, one of the neighbors down there said that might be you. I said, what I'm looking for, permission to on some Saturday mornings, because for me and the boys work, so we only got Saturday mornings, and I'm looking for permission for me and the boys to maybe go in there and hunt a few geese. And so that tells them, okay, the boys are working, they're responsible, and I'm looking for a place for me and the boys. We're going to do this as a family unit, or, the unit of us, like my son and Scotty, he's a friend, but he's almost like a son, that type of thing. And it kind of...
Or a daughter.
Yeah, it kind of puts them at ease. And, geez. So it kind of puts them at ease, and you're responsible. And that all goes to help you get permission. And
now, do you ask for just geese as an example, then you'd go back and ask, or in the initial conversation, because this Saturday,
that is a very good question, Bill.
My goal this Saturday is to get property for turkey hunt
and deer.
Well,
if they
for
go,
now, yes, you're right.
So let me
right.
give you my theory, because this is what bugs me. Dad will go and I'll say, hey, there's a good spot for turkey and for deer. And he'll come back and go, yep, we're good to go for turkey. What about deer? Well, I didn't ask about deer. Well, you've just built rapport and they said yes to turkey. If they said yes to turkey and you just said, now in the fall, is deer something we could talk about now, or do you want to wait until fall? And if they said yes, you're in. But oh no.
No. The way I look at it, don't be greedy. Don't be pushy. Give them a chance to have you on their property, because I've had some places where they say, okay, you text me when you're going and you text me when you're leaving so that I know you get in and out safely. And then I'll go back and see them later. And hey, while we were in there, we noticed some deer sign. We noticed this. Is anybody hunting it? Is there a chance? And sometimes it's already spoken for, but lots of times it's not. And they'll say, no, that's okay. And I always figure it's easier to expand the different game that you hunt in there if they learn to trust you and you build up on that rapport and you do what you said you were going to do. But I also ask them at the time, I also say, okay, now, is there any place that on your property we need to stay away from? Is there, are we allowed to drive on the fields? Because we have quite an outfit to take in and take out.
That's on goose hunting.
Yeah, goose hunting. Is it all right to drive in the fields? Like, I always ask that and try to show
Where do you want us to park?
Yeah, we're responsible.
Yeah.
And the more you can show them you're responsible, the more they're willing to let you do it. And so far, we've usually been pretty lucky, unless they just hate hunting. Unless they just hate hunting.
Well, there's that right now. What I've ran into around here is a lot of the farmers will be glad to have a conversation with you if you're open. Finding fields that people own is tough, because a lot of fields are rented. You go up to there, and I'm just at the house on the property is rented by somebody, and a farmer two lines over, maybe the one who owns it.
That's what Dad's saying, right? You go, I think so-and-so owns it over there. And and then you're on the wild goose chase of knocking on doors until you find out.
We got permission to hunt turkeys in this one field, and our woods, kind of field woods. And when we got back in there, we'd come out of the woods into different fields. And so you'd see a woods here and another field over there. So I drew a map of it, and I went back to Mr. X and I said, can you tell me, show me on this map I drew what fields and woods you own, what your property lines, and who the other owners are? Well, he gave me the owners, 5 different owners in that whole block, because I mapped it out once we were in there hunting. And so then my son-in-law and I, we were back there one morning. We were hunting on afternoons. He was on afternoon shifts, so we would go 3-4 times in a week. So we were in there. So then I said to him one morning, okay, we need to branch out on these other fields. So we drove around and knocked on every one of those doors. We knew their names. And I said, Mr. X has given us permission, and we've hunted 4 or 5 times in his property this year. And we noticed birds or whatever we're hunting on yours. And he gave us your name and said that you're the person that we need to ask if we can add your property to be able to hunt on it while we're in there hunting on his. You hunt his, do you? Yep. So, and then we got permission of 4 of those 5. We got permission that morning, and I got their names all marked on the map. I know what fields are theirs, what woods are theirs, and we got that whole block staked out.
It just reminded me of something too that I used to, when I do. So I have asked for permission, right? Not going to wait for Dad. I'm going to see if I can do it. And I take my earrings out and away I go. And what I found really, and it's who I am. I'm a very transparent person. I'm just, hey, this is what you get. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking, because a lot of times I haven't thought about it yet. It's coming out my mouth and surprising me. So when I walk up and I make sure that, now my job, I have business cards. So I make sure that I would hand them a business card and say, and I would lead with that as well. So that now here's who I am. Here's my phone number. Here's where I work. So that was one more caveat for me and it really worked local. Now I worked at that time when I was asking, I worked at a very well-known local family-run business that was out in the country. And so when you did that, they knew exactly where it was. I was a manager, so that probably helped as well somewhat, right? So you have that manager title responsibility. But I would hit them with the card and explain who I was first. I'm so-and-so. I work at this place. I'm the manager. And I've noticed driving home from work that you've got turkeys in your field off the back of that woods. And so that instantly would show them that I'm not trying to hide who I am. I'm not trying to hide anything. I'm just going to be right out front and say, hey, there my number's on that card. At any time, you can give me a call.
Yeah.
And right. And so to me, I think that also resonated quite well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to your point, you're showing them who you are, and the willingness for you to give information for them if they need to get a hold of you or anything goes on.
Yeah. Like, and if you don't have sorry, go ahead, Bill. Go.
Yeah, when I was going to college, this is a long time ago, but I made up little business cards and Avery labels to say who I was, what I was wanting to hunt. My name and number was on the back of the card in case they wanted to get a hold of me. And then I had that card in duplicate so that the landowner could sign a copy of that as proof that he gave me permission, which is another topic I want to talk about real soon here.
Some don't like doing that.
Well, and that's what I was just going to say. I mean, from a liability standpoint, I mean, being an Ontario Federation of Angler and Hunter member, we carry liability insurance.
I always let them know that as well.
Right?
Yep.
But does that? There's two schools of thought in my mind. Does that hinder the process by having a guy saying, well, what do you need to bring that up for? Because we're just having a gentleman's agreement here. You can hunt our property. Why do you need to bring that stuff in? Or do you see it as a comfort for them to say, you know what, if this guy, something happens,
you gotta be a sales guy.
Up till now, I've let them bring it up. Sometimes if they're a little antsy or, well, I don't know, then I'll bring it up. I say, okay, yes, I'm a member of OFA. And I have agreement papers that I will sign to show you that I won't hold you liable. And you can get them from the OFA website, and you can get them from the Ontario government website. And I'll sign anything that you require. And there are a couple of farms that right now we sign them every year. We renew those agreements every year. And it's on there what they expect of you and what I am going to do and what and it shows them that we're not going to hold them.
Dad brings them and we all sign them and then he takes them back.
Yeah, we do that and it helps. Now we did find a field. We were scouting from another piece of property where we had permission, and we saw geese going in, and it wasn't owned by the people where we were hunting. So we found out who owned it. I drove around, talked to the guy, and explained that we were hunting that person's property and we noticed them coming back here. Do you mind if we go back and hunt? And he says, well, no, I guess not. I guess that'll be okay. And so we went in and we had a really good hunt. And well, when we went in, we discovered that there was this mini lake in there. And so we asked him about hunting it and about fishing it. Yeah, no problem. So we got that. We were talking last podcast about going back with Todd's new boat, and where that was the field where we were shooting geese, and there was a snow goose came in with the Canadas. So that's how we identify that property, the snow goose property. And so we got that expanded. Well, then right to the west of him is this huge field that goes all the way to the corner with an abandoned farmhouse. And they started going in there. Well, he didn't own that. And so I went and I said, do you know who that owner is? And he says, yeah, I think it's, and he gave me the name. Well, the name we knew. The name was a friend of ours. And he hates turkeys. He owns a lot of different fields and properties like all over. And so I knew it was just a matter of phone call. He hates the geese. And as soon as I get on the phone and say, hey, Mr. X, this is Don. Here's the corner that the field's on. Here's the number. I understand that you own that. He said, yeah, what do you want to hunt? And turkeys and geese. Go get them. Clean them out of there. And so, you get a lot of names and that from other farmers. And letting them know that you hunt that guy's property gives them a chance to, sometimes they'll call and ask that guy, what do they like? Oh, the boys are great. They come in.
Farmers talk.
Yeah.
Oh, they do. Absolutely, they do.
Yeah. So that kind of helps you get in too. So
we've even had them stop. We have permission on people's farms, and they'll be driving by and we're on somebody else's farm, and they'll stop. Hey, how you guys make it out? And you're like, who is that? Oh, it's so-and-so. We hunted this place last week.
The other thing that helps out, I've found too, if you take them a venison roast, or I make a lot of goose jerky, and I make a lot of goose burger and stuff like that.
Well, and that's where we're going, right? You become a friend.
Yeah.
Like, I love going out and having conversation. Now, I like to talk.
Now, it doesn't have to be wild game. Suppose
I give them Redneck Country shirts, hats.
Yeah. But I want that particular farmer we're talking about, the snow goose field and the lake. I said to Todd, we need to thank this guy. He seemed like a really nice guy. His wife was sick and she couldn't get out much. And so we went to one of the grocery stores and I don't know, we bought some dessert buns and muffins and different fancy cookies. We didn't spend a fortune, but we just bought some desserts that looked really good. And we stopped in and said, listen, I don't have any jerky made yet, and I don't have things on the go yet. I haven't got any pepperettes, but we wanted to really thank you for the great hunt you allowed us here. We wanted to keep the door open for future, and I wanted to know the rules. Can we just come if you're not home? Do we have to let you know first? We wanted to give you this. And he says, no, that's fine. He says, if you can't get a hold of me, he says, I know your truck. And he says, just make sure you check with me and let me know you've been in or whatever. Well, and I said, well, let's exchange phone numbers so I can do that. And then he called me a few days later and he says, you know what? He says, I didn't think I was into that stuff much, that desserts and stuff you brought out. But you know what? That stuff was really good. My wife is sick right now and she don't cook or bake much anymore. And I really enjoyed that. And I wanted to say thanks. Great. We'll bring you some more. Just keep the fields open to us.
Like a lot of guys think.
Instant rapport.
Well, and I think it's that out of the box, right? Like a lot of guys will say, oh, I just take them a case of beer or whatever. But that's something they buy every day.
Sure.
If somebody drinks, like they'll buy their Crown Royal every day. And it's like, oh, great, thank you. And if they have money, which a lot of landowners will have some disposable income, they're used to always having like a bottle of Crown Royal, if that's what they drink. They're used to always having a case of beer. So you taking them something is great. And, oh, thank you. I've got that case of beer. And a lot of guys think that's awesome, right? But it's not that extra something they don't have that they wouldn't even have thought of buying that might be less expensive than a bottle of Crown Royal.
Oh, it was, definitely.
But all of a sudden they're like, oh, it's more thought than money.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just standard life.
Yeah,
right?
They're going to remember you over maybe a little bit more about the guys that thought out, hey, I got this really neat Redneck Country shirt and hat.
And for me,
they can wear it around too, right?
I don't think of it as trying to schmooze, and I don't think of it because we don't give them stuff right off the bat. It's not like we're going there with a box of cookies and or a box of kittens and saying, hey, look at this, can we hunt? It's after. Because I don't look at it that way. I look at it, I'm here as a conversation. In my thought process when I first meet you is like it would be with anybody. I got to show you that I think I'm a good person, that I'm a responsible person. I know that you're going to only want responsible people and good people. You're not going to want jerks. So I've got to be very cognizant of that. I don't think I am that. So hopefully I can portray it. Now, as if I would with my friends. You've got Redneck Country shirts, Bill. Scotty's got Redneck Country shirts. Like all my buddies. It's no different now. Now, to me, they're a friend. And if you treat them that way, that's what it's about. It's not if they start to go, well, this guy just buttered me up to get permission. Well, that's your thought process. Then you may get permission for a bit, but you don't have a solidified relationship. And really, I'm not looking. I have lots of hunting permission. If we lose some, oh well. It's for me. Literally, it's more of a friend. Now, we live in a small town. I see them out at the market, at the mall, at a restaurant. Now it's a conversation. Hey, how you doing? What's new? What's going on? Because they're a friend. And really, that's where it really comes down to.
One of the main fields we hunt, the guy owns a lot of property. I've run into him at Costco. He's gone out of his way to drive down where we're parking and stop beside us and say, hey, how's it going? I've had my wife with me. We're at Costco. And we have a conversation in the parking lot.
Because you're friends. Yeah. Now you're inviting them to barbecues. And it's not because I want to keep hunting your land. It's because we're friends. I think you're a good person.
They're good people. They turn into people you want to spend time with.
And that's the thought process. So many people go with the thought process of, I got to give this so I can hunt this. And now these people don't need to give you permission. I mean, they might, but really you're looking at a potential friendship. And that's what it comes down to, right? And then what would you do for your friends? Well, that's what you do.
Well, it gives me somewhere to start off with, right? I mean, what I took away from that first is you got to do your homework. You got to know. You got to know who you're asking and what you're asking for, and you got to be a good person. You show up in a way that you would have an open conversation with somebody that you want to spend some time with later on, and treat people with the respect and accept the fact that sometimes you may get told no.
Yeah, well, and that's it. That's a given, right? And it could be for many different reasons that you're not even. It's none of your business. Now, I think that the business card thing is genius, Bill. Honestly, for you to have a business card and with your phone number and everything, I don't know about the signing part, that can come later, but
I used to carry them with me. And I said, I'm not just asking for me, I'm asking for my son and the boys. And here's my son's card. You may know somebody at this business. And so that kind of made it a little more personal, like, okay, oh yeah, okay, that's just down here. So yeah, exactly. So
you're accountable, right? That's what it all comes down to.
We used to hunt an area back when we were both working in the same place. We used to hunt an area. The geese moved around a lot. It was hard to find them in the same place 2 days in a row. And so lots of times you hunt a place and they weren't in there the rest of the year. So you were always asking for permission, always. And I remember one morning they had moved on us and we didn't get to hunt. But we saw where they were going, and there was corn all around, and they were in the middle of a cut cornfield, but the corn all around, you couldn't see them unless you actually saw them dropping in. So I went up to the farmer's house and I knocked on the door and I said, gee whiz, you got all kinds of geese going in here, and it's right in the middle. It looks like you've got corn cut. He says, yeah, there's a field in there, actually. There's 4 fields, and there's a 5th one in the middle, and that one's been picked, and that's where they're going. And I said, we'd really like to come back on Saturday morning, me and the boys, and hunt that field. Would that be all right? Well, he says, I'm going to be working in there Saturday morning. I said, well, what time do you usually start working? Early? He says, no, I usually start around 10. And I said, well, if you would give me permission, I promise we'll start packing up at 9 and be out of your way. That'll give us, because they come in early, will give us a chance to shoot some geese. And if you need to get in there, because he was filling silo. And he says, I want to get in there and pick some more corn, and I want to do some more work with the tractor. So I said, if you'll give us permission, I promise to be out of there by 9 o'clock. They're packing up at 9. He says, yeah, okay, that'll be all right. So I home told the boys. They were excited. Remember that? So, and we watched the time. And at 9 o'clock, I said to Todd, we got to start cleaning up. And I said, I want you to head over to the truck right now. But when you get the truck, drive up the roadway in here and see if he's getting ready and getting stuff done, and ask if he's ready to come in. Because if he's not, maybe he'll give us a little more time. Well, anyway, Todd did that, and he come back. He's, nope, he's just getting stuff ready now. He wants to get in here and get started. So he's really thankful that we're leaving. So we didn't get our limit, but we had a bunch of geese.
Yep.
Yeah. That's another great point too, right? It's just going to say that's another great point. You got permission. Don't screw it up. If the landowner says, don't be here, don't be there. If the landowner says, pick up your shells, don't drive on my field, pick up your shells and don't drive on the field.
Don't drive on the field. I'll tell you what, if they've actually said that, and if you're going to drive on their field, don't not mention it. Ask, can we drive on your field? Because in their mind, they've already got it set. Some would be like, they don't care. Others are like, you don't. And they might not say it. And if you do, wow. And again, farmers talk. And every piece of permission that you have, every land is a gateway to more. Because when you go and ask, well, I hunt so-and-so's just down the road. Can I hunt yours? Oh, you hunt so-and-so's? Oh, well then, okay. Right? Because if he trusts you, then I'll trust you. And so,
So far when I've been asking around here, the only reason why a lot of people said no is because they've already had somebody on their property. It's, hey, I live in where I live. I'm next to this guy's property. Oh, you are? Yeah, I'm right across the street from so and so. Yeah, I know that guy. He does all my mechanics work. And then it's like, okay, well, if I mention those two names, not to say that they gave me permission, it's, hey, maybe I'm going to give this guy a call and say, hey, is this guy credible or is he a jerk? And should I not even bother talking to him? And you're right. If farmers around here and anywhere, they talk. And if you've messed up one place, you are not getting in somebody else's.
We got a piece of property that's right next to a piece of property that we hunt. And once in a while, the geese will go in the property we don't have permission on. And 5 years ago, I stopped in there to try and get permission. So we had blanket permission in that block. And he had some bad experience. The guy said they'd do this and they didn't do that. And he just he had to get up early in the morning and kick them out because they did what they weren't supposed to do. And I just tired of that. And I said, well, I can assure you we're not that way, but I can understand what you're going through. So I respect that. And I left. Well, the next spring, I went in there again and I explained to them who I was. And I said, have you changed your mind or given it any more thoughts? No, I haven't. Well, I've been doing that for 5 years. Last spring, he finally said, well, you can hunt that back field if you do this, this, and this. And I said, thank you very much. So I watched it, but nothing went in there. But at least we had permission with some restrictions now. And so I'll go back again this spring and I'll say, you know what? I really appreciate you allowing us the opportunity. However, they did go in the field back behind you where we had permission. We hunted that, but we never did get to hunt your property. But we would have respected it. Can we expand that property a little bit? And he's starting to relent because I don't bug him. I don't badger him. I don't argue with him. I understand what he's gone through. And I assure you, not like that. And so he's coming around. So I have confidence we'll probably get in there.
Yep. And again, it's all about making friends. Like there's some farmers I know when my kids are with me and I'll say, oh, I got to stop in here just to say hi. They're no, because I'm 2 hours talking. There's one landowner. Well, where we hunted the geese, I only know him from asking permission. And I've got to know him so well. I mean, when I stop in, it's 2 hours, like literally, because he can talk more than I can. And then and next thing you know, they're like, Dad, we want to go. But yeah, I think it's now a friendship.
I'm going to try to pull out the silver bullet that I have this weekend and we canvas, and maybe Violet will come with me too. And
there you go. I was going to say at the beginning, the Violet factor.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Pigtails. Put her in pigtails.
I don't want to play on her heartstrings too much.
Take your wife, take your son, take your daughter. You kind of want to get a family hunt in here. Yep.
Yeah, anybody but my brother. Is that what we're saying? Yeah, for him listening. Just kidding, Jay. I know you're listening.
That's so awesome. He sent me a picture. This week. I got to post it with Dua Lipa. He's got 2 bass.
He sent you a picture here. But love it. Yeah, this weekend, if I can get one property, that's all I want. I don't need to get a dozen. I just would like to get one private farm, instead of a county bush, where I can go walk. I can take the kids out. I think I told you 100 times, I don't care if I should have the opportunity to have my family with me in the woods in an opportunity where they can actually, harvest something, right?
Yep.
We were trying to get permission in this one field for several years, and he was a little reluctant. And so I would just go back in and have a conversation with him. And so finally he said, yeah, I guess you'd be all right. And I pulled in one night when they were coming in, and at night. They were coming in at night and in the morning. And I said, well, take a walk back with me and let me show you what's happening and what they're doing. And so we walked around the barn, and I said, we'll park wherever you want us to park, and we'd like to hunt that field right there, and we'd like to hit it tomorrow morning. He says, yeah, okay, I'll give you guys a shot at it. It was me, Todd, and Scott. I said, now we're going to come in with a trailer. We're going to put out all these dozens of decoys. So we're like, if we drive in, we don't want lights on your house or anything. He said, nope, go in here, park here. You're good to go. So we went in, got all set up. And before the geese started coming and started to get light, we noticed the farmer.
He was leaning on a hay bale in the back.
He was them big round hay bales. He had them all lined up behind the barn, and he was leaning on one, and you could see his head. And he stood and watched our whole hunt. And we walked over, and actually he came and helped us hunt some geese down. Like we were almost done, and he helped us hunt them down.
Yeah.
And he watched
helped us pick them up.
And I said, now, we're liable to get a couple of hunts here because that isn't everything that was coming in.
We limited out. We got out of Dodge.
Yeah, and so we left, and I said, and there was more coming in at night. And can we come back again this week? And he said, yeah, sure. And doggone, he was up that morning and he watched us again. Remember
he was watching you there.
Because I said, I got an extra gun if you want to come. By all means.
Yeah, he said, no.
I just like watching.
He got up at 5 o'clock. We drove in at 5 o'clock. He got up at 5 o'clock, got dressed, come out and watch the hunt. I just enjoyed watching.
What better hunting show than that, with a field full of decoys and birds dropping out of the sky and it all coming together.
The only thing that makes that more painful is when you want to hunt and you're watching it hunt.
Yeah, that's it.
That would drive me nuts.
Well, there you go. I think
you're going to be. You just need to get your personality. See, I think the biggest problem is the jerks have a problem because they're jerks.
Yeah.
But it's really on you to get your personality across, Bill. Like, you're one of the nicest dudes I know. So if they know you, I don't think you're going to have a problem. But you only have 2 minutes to let them see your Bill.
And it's the worst time.
And make sure, if you want, give them my number, and I'll let them know. Look, even if you're pro animal, like you're against hunting, letting Bill in there isn't going to disrupt any animals in there. He's known as the almost guy. Really, you're just educating all those animals. You're doing them a favor by letting Bill in.
I will be wearing my Redneck Country almost guy shirt. It's a conversation point. Hey, what's the almost guy about? Well, let me tell you. You have time? Because I got a story or two for you.
Oh, I love
That's
it.
why I'm bringing my family with me.
You'd be a lot skinnier if you didn't have them.
That's it. Well, thanks for the coaching tips there, gentlemen. And,
is your tea gone?
Yeah, it's pretty close. It's just about getting stone cold
then
here.
We've done our job.
We have. Yeah, it was another great evening.
I'm looking forward to hearing how you make out. Keep us in the loop.
I'll keep you in the loop.
Awesome.
All right. Good night, Bill.
Good night, sir. And that'll do it for this week, folks. For the Redneck Country Podcast, I'm Bill, the almost guy Tom.
And I'm Todd. Thanks for listening. And folks, if you want to be part of the podcast or you want to give us some feedback or really contact us about anything, feel free to email us at podcast@theredneckcountry.com. Again, that's podcast@theredneckcountry.com. Thanks for listening. Talk to you again next week.